2 decades ago, nobody gave any extra attention to bright or gifted students in Canada. These children were required to fit into the regular school system, so they often lost interest. They were bored, they daydreamed, or to get extra attention. Teachers often thought they were troublemakers. They didn't realize that these children were gifted. Today, there's been a revolution in the school system. Now there are not only special programs, but special schools for gifted children. Even small Canadian towns have special programs. 4 years ago in Alberta, the government formed a special task force on gifted and talented children. It basically identified what a gifted child is. Georgina Adamson is supervisor of special programs for the gifted in Calgary.
We're looking not just at intellectual giftedness, nor just academic ability, but we're looking at talents in, particularly in the visual and performing arts. And we're also looking at children who may not demonstrate their ability in the usual accepted way of high achievement, but may be quite a pronounced underachiever, but we're still recognising them as gifted.
About 5% of the children in Calgary are identified as being gifted. The task force suggested changes to the existing school curriculum. It urged the creation of new programs. Today, the government of Alberta allots over $500,000 for gifted students in Calgary. The city of Calgary added money to the provincial funds, spends more than 3 times as much as the province. Last year, the total amount for gifted children in the public school system in Calgary was close to $3 million. After the task force made its report, the Department of Education for the Alberta government published a special pamphlet for teachers and administrators. It recommended the most effective methods for dealing with bright children. Georgina Adamson.
We do a lot of work with classroom teachers, helping them differentiate their own teaching styles and strategies and content areas so that the whole program that they're delivering is much more individualised, and so that the teachers are aware of the particular needs of the identified gifted and talented and are able to make a whole lot of modifications, I would say. Now, these are not really high profile. It's not as though it's necessarily pulling the child out to work in groups with other identified gifted, but it's to ensure that there'll be many more choices for the child so that they can work in areas of their interest.
14-year-old Heather Christie was accepted into a gifted students program in her regular school. This allows her to be with her classmates, but learn at her own speed.
The teachers do try to give us more challenging assignments, and the teachers also try to weed out the gifted students from the ones who may need a little more time in class, and they have special programs for us on class time. We're doing a project on creative problem solving. Recently we've been doing it for a few weeks, and then next week we're going into something called Olympics of the Mind.
What's that?
It's similar to the creative problem solving, except in this one, the problems are not made up and put on paper. They're real-life problems you have and you want to solve.
Cenk Suman is 13 years old. He came here from Turkey 3 years ago. He learned English in 3 months. He skipped a grade in school, and within 6 months, he was identified as being gifted. Eventually, he was accepted into the Oakley Centre, a special school in Calgary for the exceptionally bright.
They let you do more independent work rather than a block system for everybody. You can expand up to your own level. You can do your own independent studies and learn about things you like. And they also give me a week to go to the university and work on studies.
Cenk's research at the university consists of scientific experiments. These have won him top honours in Canadian youth science fairs. Georgina Adamson says that Alberta's interest in bright children isn't unique. It's happening across Canada and in the United States. In the past, she says educators tried out programs, but these were usually short-lived. They just didn't have the government support and commitment that now exists.
The last 10, 15 years, I would say that there's been a recognition that you don't just respond to a crisis, that there's always a need for the development of human potential.
Georgina Adamson is convinced governments will increase their funding and support for special programs for the gifted. Meanwhile, children like Cenk and Heather are being given the best opportunities to realize their full potential. I'm Jaime Wohl for Radio Canada International.